Do you wake up without desire, and without understanding why? At 60, many people believe that passion ends, but the truth is that it only changes places. In this profound and revealing video, you will discover what really causes libido to drop after 60 years old, and above all, how to reverse it with natural, effective, and science-proven strategies. Let's talk about how hormones and emotions affect desire foods that rekindle sexual energy, the role of touch, self-care, and presence in pleasure, and why it's never too late to feel it again. Watch to the end. This content can transform your relationship with your body, with your partner, and with your own vitality. Subscribe now to receive more videos on health, sexuality, and wellness and maturity. It was as if something had been turned off inside the body, silently, without warning, without fanfare. For decades, desire was part of the routine. A touch, a thought, a memory was enough to ignite that inner spark. But at 60, something has changed, and what once seemed natural now requires effort. Many men and women wake up without feeling any desire at all. It's not just tiredness. It's not a lack of love. It is the body speaking in another language. And the good news is, you can translate it. The drop in sexual desire after the age of 60 is much more common than is openly talked about. However, the taboo around sexuality in old age makes thousands of people feel alone, embarrassed, or even abnormal. But science shows this phase does not have to mean the end of intimacy, but the beginning of a new relationship with one's own body. The first thing to understand is that desire does not suddenly disappear. It decreases due to a combination of physical, hormonal, emotional, and even social factors. In men, there is a progressive reduction in testosterone, the hormone responsible for libido, physical disposition, and vitality in general. In women, menopause marks the decline of estrogen and progesterone, directly affecting sexual appetite and vaginal lubrication, making the act uncomfortable, which consequently further reduces desire. But it's not just the body that speaks. The mind also participates. Studies show that stress, anxiety, loneliness, and lack of emotional stimulation have just as much impact as hormonal changes. Many people at this stage of life are dealing with losses of partners, professional identity, autonomy, and this directly interferes with the way they feel desirable or open to pleasure. And there is yet another silent element: medicines. It is common that after 60, the use of drugs such as antidepressants, antihypertensives, and anxiolytics increases, and many of these drugs have the side effect of decreased libido. That is, sometimes the problem is not in the relationship, nor in the feelings, but in the label of a box of pills that no one has ever read in full. But what to do in the face of this? The first step is to stop believing that this is normal and therefore irreversible. It is not. The libido can be reactivated with the right body, the right stimulus, and the right care. Modern medicine has important advances in this field. There are natural therapies, safe hormone replacement, dietary changes, and exercises that return energy and vitality from the inside out. Food, for example, plays a crucial role. Foods rich in zinc, omega-3, vitamin E, and antioxidants act directly on the production of sex hormones and the vascularization of the genitals. Berries, avocados, pumpkin seeds, nuts, salmon, and pure cocoa aren't just healthy, they're allies of your sexuality. In addition, regular physical activity increases blood circulation, releases endorphins, and improves self-esteem. All key ingredients for the return of desire. A daily walk of 30 minutes combined with stretching and breathing exercises is enough to start transforming the body's energy. And never forget, intimacy doesn't start in the bedroom, it starts in the mind. It starts with looking in the mirror, with touching one's own body, with the decision that pleasure has no expiration date. Desire is not the privilege of young people, it is the right of those who are alive. And your life, it's still pulsating. As the years progress, the body begins to respond differently to stimuli that previously aroused immediate desire. The skin no longer shivers as before. The touch is interpreted more slowly. But that doesn't mean the absence of pleasure, it just means that he needs different paths. Sexuality and maturity requires attention, awareness, and, above all, presence. One of the biggest mistakes one makes is to think that desire depends exclusively on hormones. While hormone levels are important, the key to rekindling desire starts in the brain. And this is where neuroscience comes in with a powerful revelation. Desire is trainable. Neuroplasticity studies show that the brain continues to be able to create new connections until the last years of life. This means that desire can also be fueled by frequent stimuli, new habits, and pleasurable experiences, even if they are not directly linked to sex. Start by noticing your emotions. How many times have you allowed yourself to feel guilt-free pleasure in the last month? How many times have you prioritized your touch, your rest, your silence? Pleasure begins with self-care. And if this pillar is weakened, no medication or supplement will be enough to keep the flame of desire burning. Another important point is communication in the relationship. Many long-term couples start to live almost like housemates. Emotional silence, routine, and a lack of verbal intimacy erode the ground where desire used to flourish. And to rekindle it, it is necessary to water this land with dialogue. Without haste, without demand, without shame. Talking about what you like, what you feel, what you need, even if it seems uncomfortable at first, opens the way to a deeper bond and awakens the body from within. Emotional complicity reignites physical attraction. The brain, when feeling connected, releases dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, the neurotransmitters of well-being, empathy, and pleasure. For those who are alone, the key is to reconnect with their own sensuality. Look at yourself in the mirror with kindness. Rediscover your own tastes. Relearn to touch yourself without shame, without guilt, without haste. Conscious masturbation, for example, is a therapeutic practice that helps to keep the body's sexual response active, stimulate blood flow, and strengthen the bond with oneself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's everything healthy. Another effective strategy is the use of herbal medicines and natural supplements with medical guidance. Tribulus terrestris, Peruvian maca, ginseng, and vitamin D are known to support sex drive and overall well-being. But they must be used with discretion and guidance, since each organism reacts differently. And never forget, desire needs space. It needs time. It needs stimulation. Many mature couples or individuals shy away from sexuality because they hope it will just come back one day. But the truth is that it needs to be cultivated, not with pressure, not with obligation, but curiously, carefully, with presence. Because what kills desire the most is not time, it is oblivion. It is to stop looking at yourself with interest. It is abandoning the desire to discover new ways of feeling. And you, even at 60, can still rediscover yourself. Regaining desire at 60 is not about going back to what it was before. It's about discovering what can be now. The body does change, but with it, it also changes the way we connect, how we feel, how we desire. And when we accept this new body language, something surprising happens. Pleasure returns. Not as an adolescent explosion, but as a continuous ember. Deeper, more true. A crucial point in this process is self-esteem. Many people in old age face insecurities with their own bodies. Wrinkles, sagging, marks of time. Advertising and aesthetic standards daily reinforce the idea that only young bodies are desirable. But this is a cruel and dangerous lie. Desire is not nourished by appearance, but by presence, of authenticity, of connection with who you really are, and that connection can be recovered. Research from the University of Michigan found that people over the age of 60 who practiced meditation and mindfulness exercises reported a significant increase in libido and intimate satisfaction. The reason is simple. To be present in oneself is to be available to feel. And desire needs exactly that, body and mind in the same place. Another study by the International Foundation for Sexual Health revealed that the perception of pleasure is not only linked to performance, but to meaning. For many, touch, affection, emotional bonding are more stimulating than any physical practice. This reinforces the importance of cultivating intimacy every day with words, gestures, and listening. For those who want to start changing this reality now, here are 5 practical steps. 1. Reevaluate your medications. Talk to your doctor about possible side effects that affect libido. 2. Improve your diet. Include foods rich in zinc, omega-3, magnesium, and natural antioxidants. Red fruits, seeds, nuts, and dark vegetables make a real difference. 3. Move daily. 30 minutes of walking, yoga, or dancing activates circulation and increases pleasure hormones. 4. Sleep better. Sleepless nights reduce testosterone and dysregulate the neurotransmitters linked to desire. 5. Reconnect with touch. Practice self-care, explore your body with gentleness, and be open to guilt-free pleasure. And most of all, allow yourself to feel. Because the biggest obstacle to desire is not time. It is the fear that you no longer deserve to feel pleasure. It is the idea that sex and sensuality have an expiration date. But the truth is that there is no age to be moved by a touch, to get lost in a look, to wake up one day and feel like living one's own body again. At 60, you're not at the end of the road. It is at the exact point where it can choose more consciously, with more freedom and with less haste. Desire is not an accidental spark. It is a flame that can be lit if you take care of it with truth, because wishing is an act of love. Love for yourself, love for life. And this love, my dear, never gets old. Subscribe now to receive more videos on health, sexuality, and wellness in maturity. Like, comment, and share this video with those who need to hear that the desire still lives.